I heard he was in Korea
Well,
or something like that.
I think he was going to Korea.
I think you told
I
me
think
that.
you're right. Yeah, probably was.
I think you told me he's in Korea. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mean Mugging in Games. I'm Nathaniel. I'm joined with Michael. This week we're actually going to be discussing Road to Nationals. But before we even start that, I have a question for you, Michael.
What's that, Nathan?
What are you mugging?
Ooh, today I am mugging just it's not really a mug. That's my football cup, my Ohio State football cup with my
Another
name
Ohio
on it.
State?
And yep, Ohio State, buddy. And just a regular Coca-Cola Zero.
Nice. So
Nothing harsh for me tonight.
I didn't tell you this last time, but I grew up in upstate New York, but my dad is from Ohio. So I grew up watching Ohio State nonstop. And
So you're a Buckeye fan.
I'm inadvertently a Buckeye fan, and now my parents and my older brother live right by Columbus, so you can't help but not root for them.
Yes.
So I'm in Columbus a decent amount. So,
Right.
tonight I am mugging a Lagunitas IPA.
Okay.
Where is Lagunitas out of? You know, someone's gonna yell at me in the chat. I bet you anything. They're gonna be like, "You don't know where it's from?" I think it's Louisiana, but I'm probably completely wrong. Oh no, right here, California, Patoma, California, and Chicago, Illinois. Okay, that's fine. So it's like everywhere, but I don't know. It's a good one. If you want a good, solid IPA with not too many hops, because I like a good solid IPA. I don't want to have too many hops though. This is what you want. So basically, for those people that don't like those super hoppy ones.
Okay, might have to try that then. Get me on the IPA train. I'm not a hoppy guy.
I'm not either. Actually, the IPAs usually turn me off, but like that's all you find now, right? Like IPAs are everywhere, and so I'm not on the IPA train. I'm more of like, what can I find that is IPA but isn't like over the top?
Gotcha.
So I'm like constantly looking for that. So that's what we have. And my wife likes IPAs, so we usually end up with them.
You might think it nasty, but it's not an IPA, but I love a Rolling Rock.
That is gross.
Yep.
My cheap beer would be High Life. Like I can handle High Life. That's about it. That is my here you go. Here's some Southern talk right here. High Life is your crawfish boil drink.
Yep.
Because anybody who has had crawfish boil will know that you don't drink a craft beer with it. Because it fills you up. So the first time when I moved down here, 10 years ago, being from the north, I went to Crawfish Boil at a local bar, and I was like, "Oh, just give me, what I normally drink, whatever, some Lagunitas or IPA or what. I don't even remember. Maybe it was Sam Adams. I have no idea." And that was the worst decision I ever made when it came to food, because like you finish the beer, and then like the crawfish doesn't quite go with it, and like the flavors. And then you don't enjoy the crawfish, and you don't enjoy the beer. So the next time I went, which was probably literally the next day, because back in the day there was a crawfish boil at every single bar, and they just picked a different day. So I got smart. I got just like a Miller Lite or something. And even though the Miller Lite was gross, it's amazing what a good crawfish boil can do to make a bad beer taste good.
That's right.
We're going to talk about Road to Nationals. You have some inside info, I hear, or more or less, of what to expect. So I know you are on a team, and your teammate has been kind of giving you guys a heads up. Here's what to expect. Give me kind of a rundown of what you're able to without.
Yeah. So usually once we get into Red National season or any kind of big events, we we'll play test stuff, and we'll try to narrow down what we think the meta is, and then really tailor. We call them gauntlet decks. So what we think all the opposing people are going to be playing, and then we'll play our main hero, and we'll just go through those gauntlet decks to see how we do. So right now, we still think it's going to be aggro field. A lot of Briar is going to probably be the big one. On your control side, you're definitely going to see Prism. Um, Big Purple's popping up, which is Viscerai.
Hmm.
Um, we don't think it's like tier A yet. It's like tier B, tier 2. But we think Briar, Phi, um, Prism, and Showstopper, Mr.
Hmm.
Bravo.
Yeah, Bravo.
Also Dromaeo's splashing in too. So
Yeah, it's just
I think those are gonna
people
be
don't really
the
know how to
5.
play Dramai super well yet, or um, counter it well. Because I think this is a little bit unfair. That like if you look at it, I was saying this. I don't know what stream this was, but I was saying this on somebody's stream. I was like, it's kind of unfair that illusionists they get all the cool stuff. They get the
Dude,
angels and the
the lu-
auras, and now they get dragons. Like,
they get dragons now. They get, yeah, like you said, angels, special shields, dragon tokens.
yeah.
With arcane barrier.
But I mean, it makes sense because they did
I
say
I,
when Prism came out, they
I
were like, we couldn't just put angels in there. We had to have some sort of excuse. So I was like, basically, all of the like high fantasy stuff that they don't want to be like, this is part of the world. They're just gonna throw on illusionist.
which I'm cool with, man, because the set with the Dromai, the Ash Artist is just the dragons are fun. They're
But
fun to play with.
with
Maybe like you're
that,
saying they'll keep that huh?
I said, but with that, what that does though is it makes it where illusionist. I mean, they're a setup class. They're absolutely setup class on
Mm-hmm.
every aspect. And so that was one of the things that I thought was really interesting is because um, there's no prismatic shields for Dromai, even though pretty much all of the prismatic shield stuff is actually illusionist, not prism based. Like if you look at the cards, they're actually illusionist cards, not prism based,
Mm-hmm.
which tells me that the spectral shields are actually illusionists. It's just Dromai doesn't care about them. But like I thought it was really interesting on just how they set up Dromai to be like different from Prism, but the same in the sense of like you still got to do setup.
Yep. So gotta do setup. You're absolutely correct.
So like
Um.
it's still she just feels like more of like an aggro Prism, um, and less of that. So I don't know. It's interesting. But because of that, because they've built in set like that is obviously a part an identity of illusionist is its setup.
Mhm.
Um, but they set up differently. So like because of that, I feel like the illusionist class is really difficult. So like at this point, fighting against Dromai is tricky for people. Um,
It is.
because they're not used to they're
It
not
is.
I feel like people who are playing Dromai and people who are fighting against her just aren't playing optimally yet.
Yep. I would agree with that statement.
So like I think I haven't seen Dromai too much in action other than you get some limited play and stuff. But like a CC deck of her like top notch, I could see her being destructive. Just you got to have a pilot. You got to have a good pilot.
Well, news flash for you. That's what I'm bringing.
That's what you're gonna bring. Bravo, and I
Yep.
see Bravo like Bravo because of like if dragons aren't too heavy of a thing or this or that. Like I think Bravo like because Bravo shuts down Viserai. Bravo shuts down.
Yeah.
Bravo shuts down Runeblades. Like
Yes. Yep.
Guardians are built to shut down Runeblades. Like if you just look at it, like even when we had the trifecta there, Star will shut down Runeblades. Like that's why Star will shut down everybody. But like even if he wasn't at his like top notch, whatever, like he was made to fight the Runeblades. Well, because also
Yeah.
I heard I was watching. So I don't remember who it was. Oh, I think it was Flake. Flake was talking about how James White had actually said that Starro was so good because he was playtested against unbanned Shade and unbanned Briar. So they still had their full arsenal when Starvo. So like he was built to counter those decks because Guardian overall, I feel like for LSS, like if we look at our pie, Guardian is built to counter Runeblade. Like I think they do that on purpose. I think that's like in their
Mm-hmm.
design.
It's a checks and balances on. Yeah. Yep.
So if you have Viserai and Briar coming in, of course Starvo's coming in.
Right.
And Fi, I mean, Fi is kind of doing
Yep.
the same thing.
You are correct.
So,
Yep.
what to expect? Let's just kind of do a quick summary. Aggro's king. So we're looking at
Tigers King.
Briar and Fi as kind of our top contenders.
Mm-hmm.
Viserai's kind of in there as a close second. Bravo
She's
as
in there.
well to kind of stop those
That's
those
correct.
rune blades, and then Prism because Prism's just a solid. I mean, like Prism is our control deck, and so she's always. I feel like Prism is always a contender. She's never out of the picture.
Oh
She's
yeah.
always just kind of there. Even if she's on the sideline, she's always just kind of, waiting, biding her time to pop up because
That's
she
right.
always does. Always. So we're really looking at 5 decks.
Yep.
With a potential of
5
6 of
decks.
Jomai, depending on if people can figure her
Yeah.
out or not. Our next topic is draft or CC better for Road to Nationals? Because I know that there's a lot of draft, and I know that there's this to me is kind of it's a hot topic. I don't know that I've seen a lot of people talk about it, and I wanted to talk about this because I have some thoughts. But before I go off in my thoughts, let's get your take on it.
Draft or CC?
Yeah, draft or CC? Which one is
For
better
Road
for
to
Road to
Nationals?
Nationals? Yeah, because we got both
Well,
going on.
Mr. Shout out to Gulf Coast Hobby, Richard Cobb, came to me when he said, "Hey, we got RTM. Which one do we want?" And he said, "Draft or CC?" I said, "CC." So I am Team CC for this.
Well, see, I would have told him draft, but my opinion has sort of changed on this, and here is why. So I think draft is takes a lot of talent. Like there is no doubt about it, and I think anybody could put together a CC deck and do well with it or anything like that. However, knowing your deck, like I mean, there's a talent to CC, and draft is one of those like, oh, I just got unlucky. I got unlucky. I was at the wrong part of the table. I just happened to read it just slightly wrong, and I don't have any of the good cards. Which feels bad when there's something big on the line. I think draft overall, I like playing draft. I like playing. Okay, let me rephrase it. I like playing limited. I like sealed or draft. Like I love limited. Limited is really, really, really fun to me. And the reason why limited is really fun is because everyone's kind of on the same playing floor.
On the same plan? Exactly.
Uh,
Yep.
you're on the same playing floor, but on high level CC, you all should be on the same playing floor. Like if you are not bringing your best deck or your best equipment, or hey, I'm missing my ghostly touch, so I'm just gonna wing it. Like, okay, that's fine. Like maybe you can find something to trade off or whatever. But like if you're going to an RTN, like you should be buying your best pieces. Like that's
That's
just it.
right.
And if you're not, like, good for you for going. I'm super excited for you to go to tournament, but you're probably not going to get first. I say that, but there's been like amazing pilots that have done like crazy things, but those are just like ridiculously good players, right? Like
Oh yeah.
that's one of the great things about Flesh and Blood is because I feel like, which I'm not an amazing pilot, but I enjoy it. But I feel like um, a pilot makes a difference between winning and losing, and it's less about
100%.
the, oh, I just didn't see my cards. I didn't see the card I needed. Um, So there's kind of that going on. But so I know you're 100% CC. So why do you think people? And I'm going to talk about my opinion in a minute, but I'm just going to go with like why I feel like there's a lot of draft going on, and I feel like a lot of people really like that. Talk to me about like why you think that is, because I feel like for something that's super competitive, CC should be the route.
Um, I think you're right. CC should be the route. However, I think LSS needs to give options of like what they're doing. And then in the big major, well, actually, perfect example is Road to Nationals. Road to Nationals is it's separated in 2 days. Um, and they separate the event. So uh, your first portion of the event is going to be draft. So
Interesting.
I think it's you play 3 or 4 games of draft. Then you get your, let's say if you're 0-2 or 0-3, you're probably not going to make day two, because after the draft's done, then they do I think it's 5 games of CC all in one day. And then whatever your record is on that, that's how you day two. Um, and then day two is the same thing again. It's draft, and then it's CC, and then yeah, your final match is going to be CC. But that's how RTN is. So they're doing both draft and CC. So they're doing LSS is doing what they need to. They need to for you to be the top of the top or a Road to Nationals winner, you need to know how to draft and you need to know how to
How to
play
CC.
your own CC deck.
So here's my perspective, and here's what kind of changed me. So MinMax Games streamed uh, they streamed their Road to Nationals. I
Mm-hmm.
almost said Return to Nationals. I told you that R, just the RTN. I keep wanting to say Return. So they streamed their Road to Nationals, and I watched a little bit of it. I didn't watch a lot, and so I just didn't have time. I was busy, spent time with my family. So I saw like a couple rounds here and there, and I realized something while watching it is that draft, though it's really cool and it's really fun to play, is quite terrible to watch. There's nothing exciting because
Yeah.
it's, especially with 3 heroes, it's like, okay, what 3 heroes are we gonna get? Oh, we got Fi against Fi again. Oh, great. Oh, we got Fi
Mm-hmm.
against Stromai. Oh, Icelander against Stromai. Like it's always those 3 rotating. You get a lot. Like I very much dislike when I get 2 hero. When I get that the mirror match. Like I don't like mirror matches in
Yeah.
general. I think mirror matches are not fun to watch, not just in Fab, but in any game. Like when I was majorly into Hearthstone and stuff like that. Oh my god, when you got a warrior versus warrior, because usually it was a controlled deck, and that took forever. It was the longest game ever. Um, Sometimes there was a couple times where I watched them turn into ties. They literally tied
Oh wow.
because they couldn't do enough damage. Like that's the whole point of warrior in that class, is they're basically your old him, right? Like old him is just, hey, I'm just gonna, you're just not gonna deal damage to me. Um, so like it would be watching like an old him versus old him match is like awful. Like watching
Yeah.
an Oldhim versus Oldhim, especially when you get 2 control Oldhims against each other, is terrible, right? Like that's
Yeah.
just not fun to
It's gonna be a
watch.
long one.
Yeah, you're just like, yeah. Well, I hope this is in the top 8 because you guys are not finishing it.
Right.
Um, so and so, but my point is like, so draft is just really boring. So I watched some of it and I was like, I mean, this is cool seeing top level players play and all that, but it's just kind of boring because I'm seeing all the same cards, right? Because we only got a handful of M's. Like we're lucky if we got 2 or 3 M's in a deck,
Mm-hmm.
which like kudos to LSS for giving a lot of power to the common and rare slot, because there's so many staples in decks, like way more than Magic. Like a Magic, you to have a common and uncommon in your deck is like unheard of. Maybe some uncommons, but you don't run commons. There's only like a handful of them where you're like, yes, this is like what I'm running. I'm running this. But most of the stuff, like you'll have a few commons here and there. And they've downgraded some cards over the years just because the format has changed and this or that. But like you don't run a ton. You'll get a few staples here and there, but like you run. I played a ton of Green Stompy in Magic, which is basically like it's just a ton of rares. Like it's amazing how expensive that deck is on like Magic Arena or something. If you're buying the singles on cards, they're actually really cheap usually. But like, so I just was a little bit taken aback about how boring it actually was to watch. Which I know they're not doing this
Yeah.
as a spectator sport, but that's what grows the game overall. Like for
Mm-hmm.
me, a competitive scene grows the game. It grows the game faster. A competitive scene that's fun to watch because people will actually come in and stream it.
Right.
Like Min-Max Games, I streamed it. I watched it last time they were there. It was really fun. The last ProQuest that I was able to attend, I streamed. What was that? That was several months ago now. I mean, I had like 300 views on that video or something like that. People like watching it. People enjoy watching it, and that's what keeps the community excited. Like I was really bummed that they didn't stream anything from Vegas. Like they didn't stream
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
And I was really bummed about that. Like that feels like the time where you stream it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know people
definitely.
are trying to figure it out or this or that. Well, then don't stream like the opener. But the next day was CC. Stream that. Stream something. Stream something from that
Right.
weekend. Because as somebody who wasn't able to go, there was this elation in the community, and I felt it, but I couldn't partake in it. And it's like
Right.
give us stream stuff, like stream stuff, so we can partake in it. For a lot of us that couldn't go, like I was soaking up like DM Armada and different people like that were streaming. Didn't get great signals, so it was in and out. But like I got to see a couple of games because
Mm-hmm.
he set it up and streamed it from his phone when it was working, and got to experience it. And I know people are gonna make mistakes or this or that, but I don't know. Like just let the community be excited and watch it. I think that was a mistake, but
Definitely.
that's
Oh,
here or there.
100% was a mistake. They should have done it, but yeah.
But the point being, like, so draft. I came around to because when I was a little bit bummed that we weren't doing draft in our road to nationals. But now since seeing it and all that, and it's kind of like, oh, you know what, like the CC is going to be a better experience, I think, for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because number one, you get to play what you want to play. If you want to play Icelander Fire Dromite, you can play them. Bring them. You're not losing out on anything. And number two, it's just more exciting to watch.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, when you're doing a road to nationals, because a lot of people, I think there's probably going to be a lot of road to nationals streamed by like different people attending. The Min-Max Games, that was Kitchen Table TCG. No, not it wasn't Kitchen Table. It was um
Hometown TCG,
Hometown
right?
TCG. Yes, it was
Yeah.
Hometown TCG. I don't know why I got him confused. I was picturing him in my head. Um, it was Hometown TCG who streamed it. He did an excellent job from what I watched. And it's not his fault that it wasn't as exciting simply because it was three heroes, right? He did a great job. He actually like sat down when it was kind of low, and there wasn't anybody there, and he like sat down and like was chatting with people and opening a box and
Mm-hmm.
doing a really good job in entertaining. He's really good. I love watching him.
Yeah,
Um,
he is good.
so like that's not on him. I'm probably gonna go back and watch some of it probably because I was only able to kind of go in and out. But it just, I don't know, it wasn't as exciting as I thought it could be. And so I think there's a mistake there in doing draft. Um, I just think like draft is a mistake. Like um, I like the high level play to be CC, but it's fun to see like, um, kind of what they call battle hardened now. Those pro quests and stuff
Mm-hmm.
that were at the callings and stuff. A lot of those were draft for sealed into draft. Like I think that's really cool to kind of play in and to almost get into the pros by playing into a draft. But like once you're
Right.
there, it should be CC. That's my opinion. I think those like play in drafts and things like that is really cool because let's face it, limited is amazing. Like
Mm-hmm.
LSS, I think it's a mistake for LSS. I think the supplemental, or this is a totally different topic, but I think the supplementals are a mistake for LSS on the front of, well, there's a couple different things, but on the front of, you don't get a cool limited experience. And with that, you don't get cool pre-releases, and with that, you don't get like that hype that comes with it. Like, I get why they do them, but I feel like there's maybe a different way to do supplemental sets, rather than
Mm-hmm.
have it be a main set, or just have it draftable, do like a crazy draft, have it like be a crazy draft mode or something. I don't know. um that's also like what's wrong with history pack is it's not limited,
Yeah.
which feels weird. But that's another topic that we'll save for probably another time. um so there's just
Perfect.
that. So I just think that CC feels like the way competitive should be. And the fact that it's not the primary way. We have draft and CC. Feels a little wrong. It's not as exciting. Um, but
Yeah. I mean, yeah. All I can say is that I'm pretty sure just like how Pro Tour was, it was all CC.
yeah,
Worlds, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be all CC.
yeah,
That's gonna be the way the game's supposed to be played.
yeah.
So.
But I mean, look at when Worlds happened or when Pro Tour happened. It was a supplemental set with the last set.
Mhm.
So like, they're not gonna have you go. Let's go draft Arya. Right? Everyone's over
Yeah.
Arya at that point. Um,
Yep.
so like, I don't know. Well, I think they'll learn as they're going. But like it feels weird to have draft and CC be kind of on par with each other. Um, Draft should be smaller events, kind of like the battle hardened and stuff, and CC should be the high level. So like you could do draft and be really good at that and earn your way into the pro tour, basically. Having ways like that. And I think that rewards
Right.
people who are really good at draft, saying, "Oh, you're really good at draft," because there's a talent to that. Like that is
Mhm.
no denying there is a talent to that. But on a high level play, I want to see players doing crazy stuff, doing crazy interactions, um, and that's why your rune blades were so exciting because of what was the boots that was in Arya.
It was um. Oh shoot.
I've been playing too much Commoner that like I can picture it,
Was
but I
it
want to
the
say
deep?
Sutcliffe side.
Was it the creepers?
Yes, creepers.
Yeah.
Um,
Those
I keep wanting to say
creepers.
Cup Sutcliffe's hide and whatever, because I play Commoner. I've been playing so much Commoner that like I can't even think of legendaries anymore. Uh, so like, yeah, the creepers, right? Like they did crazy, crazy things that divided the good players from the bad players. Because there were people that
Mhm.
hit the pro tour that happened to just win a pro quest. Not be and they had just started the game, which means they're great players, right? They're good players. They're smart players. A lot of these ex Magic people who are really competitive coming over, they're smart players. But there's things that they like don't expect to happen, and creepers were one of those things that really divided those really good players from those people that just don't have the experience in the game. And I
Yeah.
love seeing that where you get those people that it's just like, okay, like this person just has more experience. You're a great pilot. You just got to get more reps against different heroes under your belt.
Mhm.
Um, and so I love seeing tricky things. Like that's why people love Rune Blaze because let's face it, they're very tricky. Um,
Yeah. They are.
they are like there's stuff that's going on that you're like, "Oh, I'm not sure what's gonna happen here. What's gonna go on once they start?" Um, but like I want to see those like high level tricky plays that you get from some of these classes that we've gotten from really cool legendaries. Um, other than hey, I'm going to take out my arsenal, block one of your damage, and draw a card. Uh, let's say a little less of that, which we
Yeah.
will. Only one person uses it now, so we will. But just kind of there's just that stuff that you see that happening, and I just want to see more of that in high level play, because I think that's what distinguishes. Because draft is hard, but if you have a great drafter, I feel like you can, if you learn what's going on and you're a great drafter in Magic, you can kind of translate that pretty well
Mm-hmm.
and build on that experience and go into that. And so I think CC really helps to represent like these are our better players and not just people. But once again, it comes down to the fact of draft puts everyone on the same playing field. And hey, I don't have to bring anything. I'll bring a $10 extra with me, get some cards, and put them together. You know what I mean? Like, there's
Yeah.
something to that
Yep.
of like, I don't have to have every single piece. I don't have to have this $1,000 deck with me to go play. I
True.
literally can just go do some draft, get some cards from it, and move on with my life. So I
Yep.
think there's something to that, but that feels more casual to me. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank
And
you.
then
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Cryptic is about to hit the shelves here shortly, people.
Is it?
Uh,
Is it? It is about to hit the shelves.
yeah,
So it came in for
coming.
you?
No, these are just some packs I won from Tanner on the Discord server, but
Why am I not a part of
um,
that Discord server?
I don't know
I
why.
need to be winning those packs.
Yeah.
feel
But no, the promotion cards from the Kickstarter should be shipped out in August, and then the actual boxes he's definitely guaranteed for November, but he's trying to do his best to get it in October. So,
Well, once those
Against
come
George.
in, let me know because I'm buying them from you. I'm buying something from you. Or
Gotcha,
Richard
man.
or somebody. I'm buying something from somebody.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Well,
Well, I'll have plenty.
yeah, perfect. Well, we're gonna head on out. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other, and we'll talk to you next week.